Am I the a-hole for pressing charges on my stepson when he stole something of much value from me? Guys, my name's Mr. Reddito, and today I have 3 very interesting stories for you. They are all Am I the a-hole related, and we're going to kick it off with the highlighted story of the day. It's about a stepson of OP who's about to go to a wedding. He's very excited about the wedding, and he remembers something of much value in OP's closet. Well, guys, he takes it without asking. Let's get right into story 1. I'm a 47-year-old male. I've been with my wife for 2 years. She has a 21-year-old son. I have a 14-year-old daughter from my previous marriage. My late wife passed away in 2014. She left a few things for our daughter, including a gold jewelry set. Her mom was devastated she did not get to gift the set to our daughter on her wedding day. I keep it in my closet since it's expensive and my daughter's too young to have it. I'll hopefully gift it to her on her wedding. Last week we were sitting in the kitchen when my stepson was hesitant to ask me something. We're in good terms but have our fair share of arguments. He said his fiancée was taking something from his mother's and my closet, saw the jewelry set and liked it very much. He asked if he could borrow it so his fiancée can wear it at her cousin's wedding. I found this unacceptable and I told him his fiancée had no business being in the bedroom and that jewelry is not mine. It's for my daughter. He asked if my daughter would agree to let him borrow it if he talked to her. I told him not to even talk about it again. He got super pissed and said things I don't even remember. Saturday night, when he and his fiancée were at the wedding, I discovered that the jewelry set was gone. I told my wife and we looked all over the house. I called my stepson to tell him about calling the police because I really thought someone stole the set. He said there was no need, that he borrowed it and will return it after they get back from the wedding. I yelled at him and told him to come back with it right now. I kept calling him till 12 a.m. when he told me to stop calling and he'd bring it in the morning. I could not sleep that night and I felt terrible. In the morning he showed up at 10 a.m. He did not bring it and started saying he forgot he would bring it the next day. At this point, it was clear he gifted it to his fiancée and was stalling. I got so mad, I told him I will be pressing charges if he does not return the set today. We got into an argument and my wife said his fiancée was the one who wanted the jewelry set. But he was the one who took it and it's not even mine, it's my daughter's, which made it worse. Because, well, I'm responsible for whatever happens to it. His grandparents berated me after I told them this and got mad and defended him when I said that I will be pressing charges. He stole and needed to be responsible for his actions. He did not respond to my final call, so now I've given him one last chance and it's over. I pressed charges today. They're saying call the police was extreme and cruel. They're convincing me to back down. Am I the a-hole for pressing charges? By the way, he was replying to me sarcastically when I said I'd get the authorities involved. He did not take me seriously. His mom said she'd try to talk to him, but I had enough of him stalling, hoping I'll just let it go so he can make his fiancée happy. I feel like an irresponsible idiot. I can't even look at my daughter without feeling frustrated and infuriated. I'm hurt, but what's worse is that this is my daughter's property that I just couldn't take care of. My wife allows them into the room, although I told her not to several times. They're not kids and there should be some boundaries. I just needed to mention that we're also in Europe. Well, guys, that one was a doozy. I'm gonna go ahead and say my opinion on this story is not the a-hole. It's not OP's fault that his stepson is a cruel person and went against his better wishes into the closet stealing the heirloom. Let me know exactly what you guys would have done if you were in OP's position. Would you go ahead and call the police and press charges? Or come up with something else? Like I said, my opinion is strongly not the a-hole on this one. Our next story we're going to look at today, guys, is also a not the a-hole story, which involves more jewelry. This time, it's the fair distribution of this said jewelry. Guys, if you're enjoying this content so far, show the channel some love and support, and smash that like button, as it's the best way to support me. Here comes story 2. This happened a few years ago, but I was talking to a friend recently about it and was told I've been an a-hole. I'm in my 50s, female, single, no children, one niece and a few nephews. Some of the family lives overseas. I had pierced my ears, but they've closed up, so I had loads of earrings I no longer wore. I was sorting out my jewelry and decided to send some over to my niece, all the earrings, bracelets, pendants, etc. Most of it was fine jewelry, gold, white gold, some platinum, proper gemstones, etc. So, I got it insured and couriered overseas. My niece lives in a rented apartment, so I posted it to her parents' house for safety. We had sorted this out before posting, so she was expecting it. When it arrived, my sister, niece's mother, opened the parcel, although it was not addressed to her, and looked through the items. She removed a couple of bangles and bracelet pendants and several pairs of earrings and gave them to my nephew's girlfriend. I only found that out when niece phoned me to thank me, and I asked her what she thought of a particular bracelet. And that confused her because she did not see it in there. My sister's excuse was that she was trying to welcome her son's girlfriend into the family, and I was always sending stuff over for my niece and nephews, and it would have been nice to send some gifts to the girlfriend as well. This is a girlfriend I've never met and I've never spoken to. And at the time, my nephew had been seeing her for a year. Also, they broke up about 6 months after the jewelry was given to her, so it wasn't a long-term relationship. I was angry at my sister and we had words over this. I said if I'd wanted the girlfriend to have the jewelry, I'd have sent it to her. This was expensive stuff, some of which was sentimental to me, and I deliberately gifted it to my niece. My sister thought I was being very unfair and should have shared it out between my nephews, as well, instead of giving it all to my niece. And she claimed I was wrong in excluding my nephews like this. She argued that they could have done with the money, meaning they could have sold the share of their jewelry and bought something they wanted. Or I should have gifted them money to the same value of the jewelry. I know my niece has no intention of selling the jewelry and is wearing it, so it's not like she's been giving a lump sum of money to play with. My friend thinks I was an a-hole for not giving them equal shares, or equivalents, and favoring my niece over my nephews. Or maybe a bit of an a-hole for getting annoyed by the girlfriend being given part of it, because my sister was just doing what she thought was right. I'm still annoyed by it. When I think about it, my sister refused point blank to ask for it back so niece could have it. And niece did not feel it was appropriate for her to ask for it back. And a quick little edit, guys. Thanks for all the reply and support. I've spent the last few years periodically grumbling over this, and was a bit taken aback when a friend told me I was wrong to feel bitter about it. So it helps to feel validated. It has actually saved me money over time. I was so mad I stopped sending as much stuff as I had been. So the last few years have been cheaper. My niece is getting married soon and she's planning on wearing one of the bracelets I sent her as her something old because I inherited from my grandmother. So I've commissioned a matching necklace and I'm taking it out with me to give it to her directly. Guys, another one back to back. Not the a-hole. How do we know OP's sister did not go and sell all the said jewelry? She said she gave it to other people and distributed it fairly, but who could take her word for it when she's obviously a thief? Also, OP did have the stuff insured when she sent it through parcel mail. If worse comes to worse, OP could literally say the stuff was stolen. Then an investigation would come after. Guys, we still have one more story left in the video today. It's a not the a-hole story which involves a baby doll. You got it, a robotic baby doll. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying these type of stories, and let's see what's going on with the final story of the day. This happened in high school when I was like 16. Now I'm 26 and I'm still bitter about it because I wrecked my GPA. So, when I was in high school, I was in home ec for the second year in a row. At my school, we had different levels for home ec, like how there's Spanish 1, Spanish 2, and Spanish 3. So, freshman year, you did the boiled egg baby experiment, but in the higher level class, we get these fancy robotic baby dolls. The dolls had sensors in them and different spots, the mouth, the back, and the bottom. We got these key fobs that were sewed into the clothing, diapers, or built into the bottles that when the baby would cry, we would need the fob across the sensor and the baby would stop crying. The baby also had a sensor in the neck that if the neck went too far back, it would register it as broken on your chart. We were assigned the babies for one weekend. At this time, I was in marching band and I had games on Friday night. I was worried I would not be able to hear the baby cry over the crowd of the band. So I asked my mom to babysit. I showed her all the key fobs and how they worked and all that jazz. She said she'd do it, no problem. So I got to the game to do my marching band stuff and I go home. I get the baby back and my mom says that everything went well. I noticed when she gave it back that the baby did have some different baby clothes on. And she'd gone over to my aunts and cousins and dressed the baby up, but that she watched them. I got a little annoyed. Told her it was not a toy and this is my grade. But she told me to calm down. So, the rest of the weekend goes by, I take care of the baby and I don't miss anything. To be fair, I'd been watching kids since age 14, and my job at the time was a daycare. I got Fridays off for the games and they were closed on weekends. So, Monday rolls around and we turn the babies in and they print out the reports from the computer. I got a really low score, like a 57 or something. I failed, that's for sure. I'm so mad because I did nothing wrong. I had not missed a thing. On the printout, it said the baby's neck had broken over 10 times, had been left in dirty diapers 8 times, and had been fed around the same amount. To say I was shocked was an understatement. I knew I was not the one who's done, or I guess not done any of that. So I obviously confronted my mom outraged. She had tanked my grade and I was an A and B student. She denied the whole thing and my stepdad tried to say it was me who did it, and I was just trying to push blame on my mother because I don't want to admit I did something wrong. So, I went back to my teacher and asked her if she could print out another list of the infractions, except this time with timestamps on them. She said she could. I also asked that if I could letter from my parents saying that they had done all the stuff to the baby that she could pass me, and she said she'd have to see. So, I get the paper and sure enough, every infraction was between the time I dropped the baby off with my mom and the time I picked it up after the game. I took the paper to my mother and confronted her. I remember my stepdad had the audacity to say I had faked it somehow. But I finally got her to admit that she basically left the little cousins to take it to their bedroom and play with it like it was a baby rag doll. All while she and my stepdad got drunk with my aunt. They wrote the letter and I got a C, but I'm clearly still resentful. I basically swore that day to never trust my mom with my future kids. This was also when I started to wise up just how bad my mom and stepdad drinking was. I've been dealing with it but in denial since like 8th grade. But that fall, it really just hit me how unreliable they were and how much they prioritized their drinking over me. Hey guys, so I'm gonna say not the a-hole on this one, but I do have mixed feelings on this story. It's a little weird. Let's talk about it. So, in my opinion, I think this baby assignment thing is weird. It just seems so hard for every student to have a fair opportunity. Think about this, hear me out. What if the student has football practice, soccer practice, or like OP, marching band? How are they supposed to care for the baby for 24 hours? And it's not really the mom's fault either for not watching the baby, since heck, she's not the student. I don't know, I just think OP's daughter was set up to fail. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Tell me what you would have done if you were in OP situation. Would you skip the marching band to watch the robotic baby? Guys, my name's Mr. Reddito, and I make stories every single day. If you did enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel, and I hope to see you tomorrow. Have a great night, guys.